Wow, greetings. Good morning, everyone. It's Wednesday. Whoa. Uh, yeah, let's jump into it. Alright, so what were we doing? Right, they said maybe go check out the pawn shop for, uh, whatever. This?
All the old boomboxes are there, blinking and waiting to whirl. All but one. Yours.
Hello, hello. Let me know if I can help you with anything.
You got anything new?
Stuck in the rain in a traffic jam, man. What's on your mind? It's like whatever's going on over at the docks. Workers got a blockade set up, making demands, no way in or out.
Going on strike would probably help you dodge a bullet or two.
Yeah, I should go on strike.
Maybe you should. Cops don't get paid much and the hours are long. Plus, you can get shot. Why not?
The RCM is a self-managing organization that operates on donations. We promote our own leaders. It would be like striking against your own mother.
I don't know my mother, but I'd go on a strike against her for my rights.
Okay, but do continue. You were asking about the strike?
What do you think a company
They want
wants?
to keep that money flowing in, my man. Ka-ching.
He doesn't blame them, but he's not on their side. That's for sure.
Anything else? Yeah, this ain't really my area of expertise. I just do my job and get paid. I have things to do and places to be. All of us do. Us lorry drivers.
Yeah,
Not my
yeah.
thing.
The tracks are as they have ever been. A bit more worn, perhaps. For
Ooh. Thought there was something there.
Kuno saw you wheeled that can. Sweet graffito action, pig. Kuno likes that delinquent shit.
Yeah, you like art, Kuno?
Fuck no, art shit.
Got it. Art shit.
That's right, pig. Shit.
Yeah, questions.
Yeah. The kingdom of Kuno. The fuck do you want with it?
Water, ever climb it?
Look at that fucking shit. You're trying to get Kuno killed.
Would you say the ladder is unclimbable?
Fuck does Kuno know? Kuno's not a fucking acrobat.
the lieutenant takes a quick note in his notebook.
It's a trap, Kuno! Don't climb it, Kuno!
Wondering about the trash container.
Don't be wondering about Kuno's shit, pig.
Got a strong hunch there's something of importance in it. Something I am yet to find.
Fuck does Kuno care about your hunch? That's your shit. You figured it out. Yeah, whatever. Kuno doesn't give a shit.
Yeah.
Kuno doesn't.
Dig deeper.
The trash container stands.
Open the
The
lid.
smell of rotten food rises to greet you. You see soggy cartons, dirty rags, and organic waste.
Search the food
It's
waste.
just organic waste, cold and slimy on your hands. Apple and potato peels mostly. Unidentified sludge, and the occasional chicken bone thrown in for good measure. But hey, nothing. It's nothing. Nothing more to see here. What's this?
What?
A blue piece of plastic sticks out from the apple peels. It's shiny. Looks like the corner of something.
Ooh, pick it out.
Something larger. A clipboard. A blue plastic clipboard with moist papers hanging from it. They look badly damaged, but you can still make out forms and notes.
Oh.
In a man's handwriting.
Officer, is that your paperwork?
I don't know what this
It
is.
is. Look, the plastic has the RCM street grid on it. You've even got an autopsy form in there. If you don't mind my asking, how could you have let your paperwork end up in the trash?
Must have been cramping my style.
Officer, this is an official piece of paperwork. It probably contains notes on numerous ongoing investigations, and could even list undercover operatives, informants. I suggest integrating it into your style, for all our sakes.
Okay, I'll do
It
that.
would also not hurt to start taking notes on the case. Now, tell me what your eagle eyes see. Or are we finished?
Close the
The
lid.
container sounds a muffled gong.
Oh, okay. Probably should have found this a while ago, but you know, whatever.
It's the ledger you found in the trash. A pitiful cabbage of white and yellow papers hanging from plastic board, barely held together by a metal clip. This sad display is made complete by the faint smell of urinal cleaner.
Anything else?
There's a piece of toilet paper, or is it cleaning tissue? No, it's toilet paper, desperately sticking to the back of the blue plastic
Oh.
clipboard. It's a metaphor for
Oh.
you. Thank you, waterlogged ledger, for spelling it out for us. Below the pathetics, terror. Do not look into its blue heart.
Alright.
It's just toilet paper sticking to the back
Take it
of the
off.
plastic clip. Still wet, the toilet paper peels off the plastic easily. All you have to do is shake it off with your finger and voila! The ledger now looks marginally better.
Great. Spectacle.
An aluminium block runs the width of the board, biting down on the paperwork. Its crocodile teeth are the only thing keeping the papers together. A regular pencil, the tip worn down to nothing, has been attached to the clip.
Finger across aluminum.
The surface is interrupted by a silvery sticker. It's rectangular, sparkling with iridescence. You don't know how
Ooh.
you didn't notice it before. Looks like an official mark, made to be low visibility outside the right circumstances.
Oh. Hey, Lieutenant, what's this?
What? That thing. It's a halogen watermark. We use it for adding information to RCM property.
What kind of information?
It depends. Aside from an anti-counterfeiting stamp, mine has my station number and address. The information varies by date of issue.
Maybe yours will have how many cases you've solved.
Ooh.
Your kill count. Yours will surely have your kill count.
Oh. How can I read
Any
it?
capable light with the right wavelength will do.
Like.
All RCM vehicles have headlights designed to reveal
Oh.
watermarks.
This means you can read the watermarks if you just turn the lights on.
Thanks.
Okay,
While a bunch of sodden papers sag from the clipboard in your hand, it's a sorry sight.
Drowsy white.
They're not exactly white. They're yellowed in patches by sunlight and alcohol, and covered in dense blue handwriting. Ink escapes into watercolor patterns, reaching its tendrils across entire pages. The paper itself is checkered, with faint red lines, forming short paragraphs. Once in a while, there's a red stamp that exclaims, "Case files commit to paper." The case files themselves are plenty. You count more than 100 sodden, crumpled up, earmarked pages falling apart in your hands. They appear to be sufficiently organized and extremely dense, if mostly illegible.
What is in there? What are they about?
Work, strife, poverty, the Jamrock Quarter. These are handwritten logs of investigations dating back to January 51, this year. The exact number is hard to estimate, due to missing pages and an odd naming convention. But there are at least 20, maybe 30 cases undertaken, not completed, mind you.
Fair.
It's the middle of March. You have attempted 2 cases a week on average. What do you mean? Is that all?
2 cases a week, a good workload, Lieutenant.
Huh? 2 complex cases to undertake is a lot, yes. You really have to push yourself. I would not suggest it, lest you start making mistakes.
Cases a week appears to have been my load, Lieutenant. I'm not sure if I completed them, though.
2? That's a lot. I didn't mean to say you are making mistakes, by the way. That was presumptuous of me.
Burned out, all right.
That's okay. We all do, sooner or later.
Oof.
Like a fan of gills, the checkered papers dry in your hand. The handwriting is extremely dense, if mostly illegible. Yes, it appears you employ a, shall we say, robust yet literary system. Each investigation has its case number written on the margins. Yet, still more tellingly, most are accompanied by a name. A title, one might say even. One that draws inspiration from snoop fiction and vespertine cop show staples.
Oh, and they're written in capital letters.
Yes, all caps. One is called The Next World Mural. Another, The Square Bullet Hole Murders. Another yet, The Unsolvable Case.
Or?
Others appear more light-hearted. The guys on a couch in an unexpected location, and the murder at the hookah parlor. Even the rare article-free collapsing tenement. Murder features prominently throughout. You like this grimy murdering, don't you? No, you don't. You're a human measuring instrument, almost entirely intellectual. It's going to take an effort to piece these case files together, but it can be done. Once you're done inspecting them up close.
I have to open official cases a room.
There is, for precisely one more.
Ooh.
15 pages near the end remain untouched by the damage. The checkered grid forms a structure of passages.
Like how we're doing this in the
breaking the case
rain.
into subtasks to accomplish. Once all the tasks are accomplished, the case is complete.
Hit to paper.
Sadly, the ledger only comes with an old, worn-down lead pencil. It's unfitting of this monumental event.
Do you have a pen?
The lieutenant looks at his blue notebook. 2 fat, shiny pens hang from the binder, like large caliber bullets on an ammo belt. He is not really saying anything, just standing there, looking at them.
Fine, I'll just use this crappy pencil.
Absolutely motionless at first, then animated slowly, imperceptibly even. The lieutenant begins to browse his notes again, leaving you to the case files. The threat has passed. He is thankful it has passed, and that he's gotten to keep both pens. Onto the paper with a brash free hand, uncannily similar to the rest of the letters. The wording comes easily. It's almost robotically simple, a language developed for mental rigor and simplicity. Inspect the victim's body. Get the body down. Interview the cafeteria manager. It's not exactly poetry, but poetry would be out of place.
No, we've done all that. Crossed over
A
once.
satisfying slash sounds across the paper. You're done, it seems to say. And you, and you. And a fuck you to you too. That last one cuts a slash right through the paper. Things to be done and things already done. The composition of reality. This is an extremely useful tool for a detective of the citizens' militia. Now all that remains is to name the case.
Can I have you by any chance named our case?
No, actually. Any ideas?
The Hanged Man?
Great. That's great. That's actually what I was thinking too. The Hanged Man. Good, strong name. We have a very good name for the case now. I'm going to start calling it the Hanged Man. It's good we sorted this out.
Tim, all my cases employ a similar naming convention similar to what we used on ours.
Yes, how very childish of you. In your and my defense, almost everyone in the RCM uses the titular system, in addition to the official alphanumeric.
Probably makes it easier to converse about.
It's a holdover from the early days of the RCM, right after the revolution, when the organization had little idea how to do things. It persists in an unofficial capacity. Officers use these titles to refer to their work among themselves.
Seem to have named a case the Square Bullet Hole Murders.
Again, in your defense, I seem to have named one the man with the hole in his head. That was a real person. His death was real. Still, I named it that, to amuse myself. I pray his loved ones never find out.
What happened to
Ray
him?
spiked through the head.
Whoa!
It was a workplace accident.
Alright.
The notebook is annual. It says 51 on what remains of its cover. A molten scrap of cardboard. Everything prior to this must have belonged to a previous volume. In short, there was more. Judging by the creases on your forehead and the lines on your cheeks, too much more. Going back years, decades even.
Unexpecting.
You don't exactly close them, so much as distance yourself from the smelly papers. They're a little further from your nose now.
Can I read the case files now?
Yes, you can piece them together using the alphanumeric code on the margin. It always begins with HDB 41, then date of initialization and time of arrival on the scene, followed by the title. For example, HDB 41120111700. The Next World Mural.
Yeah, that's 41 Precinct and HDB is our name. Yeah, how long does it take?
It takes about half an hour to piece one together, using the system you've devised. Where do you want to start?
Next World Mural.
This one is relatively easy to reconstruct. Overnight on 1202, a graffito, nay, a mural, appears on an 8-story tenement overlooking central Jamrock. The building is a sparsely inhabited ghost tower, part of a failed real estate development called Grand Couronne. Cause of failure, rent too high. The mural is enormous. 2 silhouettes, a man and a woman, are kissing. The text cut into their form reads, "True love is possible, only in the next world. For new people, it is too late for us. Wreak havoc on the middle class." People call it that thing and that fucking thing. It's visible for miles. In 2 days, the station's complaints desk gets clogged with requests to remove the bummer. You and your partner are assigned to the case. The graffito crew is easy to track down. Only the bell lettrers have the literage of industrial paint to cover the surface. One of the graffito artists is rumored to be rich. They take responsibility for the execution, but not the design. The ideologue of the Next World Mural, as the crew calls it, remains an unknown. The crew agrees to clean up after themselves. However, your partner, JV, is against the removal, citing public support for conservation. This leads to a debate in Precinct 41, which then spreads to the streets of Jamrock, ending in a rare plebiscite organized by you and the rest of Row 3.
What's plebiscite? Vote by which people have oh, okay.
The 9,000 people subjected to the mural's message, all of Lakeside, Central Jamrock, and Villa Lobos, plus half of the eminent domain, participate in the vote. Although the case begins with what appears to be a lot of rambling on the streets as to how juvenile and stupid the mural is, given a choice between two options. A staggering 78% of voters choose to keep it. Turns out the opposition were a loud minority, and that love truly is possible in the next world for new people, and it is too late for us.
The class would not be blamed. It's wait, thought it was a cat. Oh, yeah.
Did anyone ask you what you believe in, man with the smelly toilet ledger? What do you want to tackle next? Done.
I'll be all for now.
It's changed in the meanwhile. A bunch of sodden papers.
Yellow?
In the back, you see thin, translucent copier paper. Some neon yellow, some bright red, all covered in boxes, like marching armies. These look like official forms, waiting to be filled out. Then rip them from the binder and hand them out, according to type of form.
Paper forms, are they?
3. The topmost are misconduct fines. The middle ones are station calls. And the bottommost are field autopsy forms. Each is easy enough to make sense of.
Fair.
You don't have to be an intellectual giant to do police work. The rest of the stinking cellulose is much worse for wear. Being sandwiched between the board and the rest
Look at
of
that clipboard.
it's made of dark blue plastic, hard enough to beat someone to submission.
Wow.
The edges are rounded, however. The U4 size board feels thick and heavy in your hand. Light shimmers on its wet surface. On the back, you see the embossed letters, RCM.
Fake the ledger?
Something rattles inside, ever so lightly. Is there a hidden compartment? And something small inside, light, made of paper or cardboard, or dried flowers perhaps. Permeables. It's not hidden per se. The compartment is made for permeable materials that would get damaged if something happened to it.
Peek inside.
The plastic shimmers like lapis lazuli, but it is not see-through. You cannot see to its center. There's pain in there, if you want some. That much you know.
I open it.
With your hands, U4-sized pages hang from the clip screwed to the top of the board.
F.
The two sides of the board appear slightly misaligned, like a drawer that's come off its slides. If you bend the plastic on your knee, slowly, the slides snap back into place. It should be possible to just,
Slide the drawer open.
without resistance or sound, the two panels move against each other. The compartment is now open.
What's inside?
2 ticket stubs and a handmade postcard.
Whoa. Couple ticket
2
stubs.
octopuses are smiling, reaching their tentacles toward each other in the colored pencil drawings. The tickets permit access to the zoo in Revachol East. The aquarium costs extra. These let you go there, too.
Pick up the card.
Thin wax paper has been glued to a piece of cardboard. Sounds like leaves rustling when you pick it up. You see violet flowers, floral patterns, patches
Smell
of
it.
it smells of chewing gum. Apricot flavored, a touch of cinnamon, the end of summer. You think the label says tutti frutti.
Oh, it's gum?
Familiar handwriting lines the inside of the card. Looped,
Maybe not.
round letters in a woman's hand. A young woman in her 20s. There is care, effort, and a smile, you think. Although that is not something you can read from someone's handwriting. Harry, it begins. You're already reading. I wanted to write you a letter so you can read it when you wake up. Maybe it will make you happy. Throw it away, please.
Reading.
Your hand shakes, holding the card. Every morning when I step out and you're asleep behind me, it says, I find a little piece of sadness in me. I carry it in my chest, down Voyager Road. Every step I take, it grows. By the time I reach the fuel station, it has filled me entirely. I step onto the light rail and look back. Sparks fall from the bow collector. I know it will be like this until late afternoon, when I get off the 42 and walk back to you. You. Every step I take will get lighter. It almost makes me run. Sometimes I do. I can't believe I met you. I can't believe the happiness I feel with you. You have a vast, vast soul, and I will always, always, always come back to it. Kisses, kisses, kisses. You feel the air sucked out of your lungs and the blood sucked out of your head. Everything around you gets dark. Small white dots appear. Sparks fall like snow from the bow collector. A streetcar distancing. You feel the ledger slip from your hand. No, hold on.
Hold on.
To what? There's nothing.
Detective, is everything all right?
Fall sideways.
There is nothing. Again.
Nothing.
Nothing sad, brother. No treachery, just blackout.
Why they're passed out.
Well, almost nothing. There is the ground below you, that's still there. And the small light that's on, fluttering, somewhere in the basal ganglia.
That.
That's me. Blue eyes, that's me.
Who was that?
Who was what?
He speaks of the sickening longing, the unwell emotion. Even in the darkness, he's grasping for it. Still trying to hold on to the great sorrows slipping in the water. Slimy.
Yeah, that's the stuff.
Here in the paleo-mammalian cortex, we call it the shadow. Because it's always there.
Tell him.
Ah, yes. In the olfactory system, they call it the apricot chewing gum scented one. It's unhealthy of them to linger on it so. But as they say,
Smelled so nice.
what do you do? It didn't smell nice. It smelled like betrayal.
Something about a bow collector too.
Yeah, man. What was that about?
There an X something?
Bloated corpse of the past resurfacing.
No, it was beautiful.
Beautiful. Believe me, stupid ape. Its lack of beauty was not the problem.
Voyager Street in Jamrock.
There is no Voyager Road. There are no roads, no houses.
Whatever, enough.
You think they would let you? Until you disintegrate into biomolecules. No. Someone is breathing on your face now, inspecting your pupils, stupid idiot.
What is that? It's cold.
Yes, they're pouring something on you. It's in you. And
It's delicious. Glowing lights on a dashboard emerge out of nothingness.
Where am I?
The upholstered cabin of Lieutenant Kitsuragi's motor carriage, seated in the driver's basket. The air is thick with leatherworks and heavy fuel oil.
What a
Cold
fucking
water runs
mood.
down your chin.
Drink. Water.
The water is cold, silvery, the stuff of life itself, as it pours down your parched throat. The pounding in your head recedes. The darkness parts.
Drink. You haven't drunk water in 2 days. Did you know the human body is not made to survive on alcohol alone? You need a secondary form of hydration.
Actually, beer and cider have loads of water in them.
Drink.
With greedy gulps, you down half a liter of cold water. Some of it spills on the driver's seat. The lieutenant pays no heed to it.
What happened?
In contact with the burned out ruins of the past.
That does sometimes happen.
He replies with such understanding, it's as if the burnt-out ruins of the past were an occupational hazard. Athlete's foot for cops.
You dropped these. Are you okay to proceed?
Nod.
Good.
Let's see. Pro collector. Oh, interesting. Ba, ba, ba.
Inside, you see a set
Yeah,
of
yeah,
steering
yeah, yeah.
wheels, a radio microphone. a
Jim, how do I
printer,
turn on the headlights?
All right. Ready? I turn, you press start. It's next to the preheater.
He's downplaying his excitement. The lieutenant is more than happy to show off his precious carriage.
Press start
The
engine.
dashboard lights up with orange glow. The rounds per minute gauge jumps, and the engine of the Caprice King
What?
comes to life with a whiny growl. Like a leopard waking from its sleep, yawning and roaring at the same time.
Press
The
headlight.
lights unfold with a little click, casting electrical light onto the ground before the vehicle.
There you go. I'll turn them off from the remote once you're done. We just need to stand in front of the machine now.
Close the door.
As you hold your ledger's clip under the headlamp, an iridescent hologram appears. A street grid and the veins of a great river. A familiar sensation washes over you.
There she is. Revachol West.
Around the borders of the watermark are dozens, no, hundreds of micro-perforations.
Have a shimmering street grid.
The rectangular watermark is overlaid with the logo of the RCM, and yet the major arteries of Revachol are all recognizable. They shimmer in the Kanema's headlights.
How are we on this?
Let me see. Right here.
Seems like a shithole.
It has its problems.
Cover perforations.
There are many of them, and they are divided into 3 separate rows.
Tally up for different rows.
The first row has 18 dots.
About the next one.
The next is the longest. It runs all the way around the border, and then there are so many it's hard to count. More than 150, at least. Maybe even 200.
Is that our body count? What about the last
The
row?
last row has 3 perforations.
3? That's it?
That's it.
Hey Cam, what do all these holes mean?
Those are perforations. They represent your record as an officer of the RCM. They are your statistics, as it were. I should have guessed you'd keep a record. Officers often do. Let's see.
Oh.
Alpha male officers who are proud of their numbers often do. It's meant. Son, here is where we score your life performance. You better hope it's
Oof.
The first row represents your years of service. 18 years. Okay, not bad at all. What did you do before you volunteered?
Like 18 years?
That's what it says. I might have guessed even longer based on your age. What did you do all those blissful years of your youth?
Probably some boring office job.
No shame in working a regular job, detective. Sometimes after a long day of doing this, I even envy it. Let's move on, shall we? This next row, the one that wraps all the way around, is your number of closed cases. Closed is good. It means finished.
Damn. Is
You've got, wow, more than 200.
that a lot?
It's quite a lot, even for someone who's been on the force for nearly 2 decades. Usually, clearing more than 10 cases a year puts you in the 90th percentile of all RCM officers.
See, Cam, I told you I was a superstar.
Call it what you want. You were a valuable member of your precinct. Now, let's look at the last row. Right. Those are your confirmed kills. You've got precisely 3 perforations there.
That's not too many.
For an RCM officer, especially Precinct 41, which is in the Jamrock Quarter, it's rather tame. I mean that in a good way. There are certain officers who treat their kills like some kind of ghoulish game. If they do happen to solve a case, it's usually by accident. But it seems as though you are, or at least were, one of the good ones. So we have that to be thankful for.
He's sincerely glad you're not a scary predator. Not to say relieved you're competent.
You ever killed anyone, Kim?
Yes.
It's not a problem for him to state it, however.
Thanks for this.
The lieutenant nods.
Okay.
Right. I'll go turn off the lights.
Cool. Gonna poke around a bit, and then,
Hi again, gendarme. Bye-bye, gendarme.
you have a point? Huh. Got nothing for... Oh. Alright, let's try it. Oh.
Hear that? Magnesium. That's what you're lacking. The lack of magnesium has you slouched.
Wait, there's a lack of magnesium in me?
Yes, and it's critical. Look at yourself. You're practically devolving into a fish due to the lack of magnesium in your bloodstream.
Mag it up?
You need to get so magged up. You've probably had 2 heart attacks and a minor stroke already. And the only prescription is insane amounts of magnesium. 1 stroke? Don't be so modest. He's having one right now.
Yeah.
Hi again, gendarme.
Let's try it.
It's the sports. He's a sports guy. All of...
Bye-bye, gendarme.
Trying it again. Want to hit on the cool guy.
Hi again, gendarme.
It's the sports.
Wow. Is there a quick load button?
Hi again, gendarme.
Come on!
It's the
What?
sports.
Bye-bye, gendarme.
This is statistically improbable.
Hi again, gendarme.
Come on!
Could he be a member of the homosexual underground? Yes, this man is definitely one of the homos. I've seen them homos with my own eyes. Just pointing it out. We're not talking about some kind of cult with members here. You made it up.
Are you part of a homosexual underground?
The homosexual underground? Why, yes, I am, officer. Why? Do you want to investigate?
Yeah, I want to hear more about it.
Oh, it's a pleasure group. A sub rosa pleasure group congregating in cellars under the cover of night. Saturday night. Sometimes even Friday night.
What about Thursday?
Or Thursday night. Sometimes the congregating doesn't even end. It carries on into our daily life.
But why'd you convert, or, yeah, what did they do?
We're ambitious. We want to destroy the last vestiges of meaning, the last things people in Rebishol have to hold on to, the true symbols of security. The meaning of man and woman, mother and father, their marriage. Everything will be constantly shifting and moving under our rule. The future will belong to a circus of identities just spinning around, surreal and unreal. You won't
Does this
even
have
know who
anything
you
to do
are
with
anymore.
disco?
Yes, we listen to a lot of disco. Some say we engineered disco to spread our vision of a vertiginous, ever-changing society, where all there is a razzle-dazzle of gold. We are going to change the family unit with all this razzmatazz and finger dancing. And with mysteries. Of course, the mysteries are also of sexual nature, very esoteric.
Do you like disco? Maybe I should get into it.
You can't just get into it. You have to be born into it. One is either already in the homosexual movement or forever excluded from it.
What if I can't remember whether I'm in or not? What if I can't remember anything about my life aside from the fact that I like disco?
Beautiful. Beautiful. That's exactly what we're looking for. Who knows, maybe you were homosexual in the past. Maybe all of that has been repressed. I have to say that you do look like someone who might be part of the underground. You have that very distinctive, I can't understand what's going on here look.
Okay. Okay, I gotta think about it.
Do think about it, officer.
It's gonna be like a 20-hour mind project for me. 20 hours at least.
Absolutely wonderful.
A man like you can figure out his sexuality in a working day. It won't be 20 hours unless you want to enter the heightened realms of the phantasme erotique afterwards. It may be 20 hours.
Bye-bye, gendarme.
Great, can't wait.
Again? I can't believe this shit.
Now, will you answer some questions? Don't you have to?
No, he doesn't.
If I wasn't clinically depressed, I'd burst out laughing. But I'm gonna go with no right now.
You don't want to answer questions. Maybe you want to hear me say things.
Actually, I don't want to hear you say things.
Come on, Jean.
Okay, say things. I want to hear you say things.
Hear that? He wants you to say things. Say one. Suddenly, out of nowhere, case-related things start popping up in your head.
The person who we think shot him, who made it look like he was hanged, we're looking for... We can't find her.
Well, where have you looked for her?
Well, think she may be on the coast.
West of here? Tough luck. The place is ruined from the bombardment. A lot of places to hide there.
Well, yeah. Hey, why am I telling you these things?
I don't know. Why are you?
It's like you felt it would be intellectually stimulating and would lead somewhere. A custom even? Strange.
Oh my god, there's more. You want something more? What is it?
Talk about over hypothetical 41.
Okay.
What's a
Let's
relationship?
be crazy. Let's say you and I are partners. How's that for a thought experiment?
Like partners in crime?
No, because in this thought experiment, we are police officers in a police station. We don't do crimes. We're not crime bros.
Come on. Stop it.
Can't imagine it anymore.
Neither can.
It's a mere second, but it feels like you saw something. A gram of compassion in that sadness.
Full shades.
Yes, it's a hobby of mine.
As if waiting for some kind of reaction or response. Something to click. It's not happening though. Who is this guy?
Talk about hangman
Why
again.
not? Let's do the old thing over again. We're not wasting time. There is no time.
Shot and hanged.
You think he was hanged as a cover-up? To hide the shooting?
Yeah.
Okay, well,
Telling
I
you.
don't know. Oh my god, there's more.
Yes? What is it?
Hear that? Did you hear me sing? Did you like it?
That was pretty good, Harry. Wasn't it, Jean?
Whoa, how does she know your name? She probably heard it from somewhere. You have to be more careful, karaoke star. Names are dangerous.
Huh, that was... Yeah, that was absolute shit, if you want my opinion. Drunken shit. Haven't wanted anything to end this badly since I had cluster headaches. Horrible. Truly horrible. I beg of you, don't ever subject me to this torture again. I mean, seriously, you need to...
Jean, he's not right. Don't make it worse. And I really liked it.
She actually did.
You just call me Harry?
Yes, I called you by your name. What about it?
How do you know my name?
God, everybody knows your name. Please go finish your investigation so everyone can go home.
Police, right?
I don't know what to say.
Don't say anything, Judith.
Is he the
Me?
police?
No, I'm just a man with sunglasses. I like wearing sunglasses inside. Sunglasses and a fucking wig.
Okay,
I'm just looking out for...
you?
No one. I'm just a man with sunglasses. And you are?
Policewoman.
Yes, a policewoman who just wants to do her job. That's all.
Something about the man with sunglasses and you. The energy between you two is...
Okay.
Hello. Lena and I were just discussing the design of the new trap.
How'd you become a cryptozoologist?
I've just always liked animals and puzzles. Searching for cryptids is a bit of both.
You ever discovered a cryptid?
No. Very few cryptids are ever discovered, and not for a lack of trying. To stay hidden is a cryptid's primary quality. It's even in the name, cryptid.
Have you, so how many have been
Of
found?
the list of cryptids kept by the Cryptozoological Society of Chemnee, which is 4,082 items long. About 2,000 have been confirmed as hoaxes. 2 are categorized as confirmed discoveries.
Only
The rest
2?
differing stages of discovery. Yes, the Chateau Quan forest pygmy, who turned out to be an extinct species of primate, and a cave salamander from Grad, who is, honestly, quite unremarkable. It's in a zoo somewhere. We cryptozoologists are brutally honest with ourselves, more so even than the public. With cryptids, most cryptids are hoaxes or they are never found. That does not mean we should stop searching.
And whatever plasmid would be a third.
Indeed. If our expedition is successful, every paper in the world will report on it. From Revachol to Dushantu. It will...
He has clearly done his math on this. There is no surprising him or swaying his opinion.
Yes?
Mothman!
Hello, sweetie. So nice to see you again.
Maybe you could convince her. Yeah.
There's really no point in manipulating anyone. You're chummy. Just go on and ask.
Hey, why not? I'd really like to hear about some of those juicy cryptids you've studied. Could you tell me about a couple?
Oh, I'd be delighted.
Bird a cryptid?
No. It's the cryptid.
Wow, the cryptid?
Oh, yes.
Whoa. Thanks, Mothman. Okay, what is this bird?
Eight-eyed teratorn, the largest flying avian ever discovered, with a wingspan of
Holy shit.
11.5 meters. It was thought to have gone extinct 3,500 years ago. Some even doubted the fossils were real. A mutation, they said. Until...
Mutation? Huh. All of evolution is a mutation.
Yeah. Until
it was cited by renowned Gotvaldian explorer and naturalist Uwe Plattenkalk in 21.
Oh, Mothman, check this out. After we finish internalizing this, we can internalize being a part of a homosexual underground.
This renown seems a bit dubious. Your own catalogue comes up completely empty. But, of course, you are not all-knowing.
Hear about this sighting?
It happened on a botanical expedition into the vast and unexplored Oamrau Canyon in southeast Ilmara. Dr. Plattenkalk got separated from his group during a sandstorm.
What happened?
Alone in the blasted desert heat, the doctor wandered eastward, where man hasn't stepped foot in over 1,000 years, since the fall of Pericarnassus. He was lost, without any navigation equipment and desperately low on water. After a day or two, he noticed a bird high in the noon sky. A great black bird. It seemed gargantuan. Every now and then, the bird would dive down to feed on an animal carcass somewhere on the horizon. But by the time Uwe got there, the Teratorn had taken off already, and the carcass was picked clean. This happened many times.
Eat the bird. Uwe. It's the only way to survive.
Followed him?
More like he followed it. A bird that big has many liters of blood in it, and he was dying of thirst. For many days, Dr. Plattenkalk followed the Teratorn until they reached a great canyon wall, where the bird finally landed to rest.
If you, like, dying of thirst, how are you able to follow something for days in a desert? Whatever.
Professor climbed up there with a rock in his hand. He found the bird sleeping with his head tucked under its wing, a great black pile of feathers on the perch. So he approached, slowly squeezing the rock in his fist.
Watch out.
Then the Teratorn suddenly looked at him. He could see it had 8 eyes, 4 on either side of its skull, like a spider. And the man couldn't move. He was paralyzed, frozen into place with the rock in his hand. Whatever he did, he could not get closer to the bird.
Why?
The bird was controlling his mind. It kept him from approaching. He could step back, but every time he stepped forward, paralysis. Uwe spent 3 days trying until the bird flew away.
Hold on, how did he survive?
The 8-eyed Teratorn was indifferent to him, as long as he didn't get closer than 2 steps. It even let him feed on some carcasses up there, and the 2 unfertilized eggs it left behind.
8-eyed mind-controlling bird? Fuck yeah!
Absolutely, sweetie. Zoologists have been tracing it ever since, but Wamrau is vast, mysterious, and holds many secrets.
Modern radar telemetry shows great promise. We will confirm this one by the end of the decade, latest.
This one I liked. Not only does it have 8 eyes, and is a living fossil, and the largest bird ever to live, it also does mind control.
He's sincere. He likes the audacity of it.
So was that the last anyone saw of it?
Sadly, yes.
Oh.
But there are numerous reports of 8-eyed bird skulls from Ilmara. And then there's the striking resemblance to the Pericarnassian imperial eagle, an ancient heraldic symbol that is hard to pass off as coincidence. The imperial eagle, too, had 8 eyes.
Not really. It's just stylization. The way they drew eyes. It's not a zoological drawing.
Very, very hard.
This one's very famous. Everyone knows it. People will be looking at that tie on you and thinking, that man is into cryptids.
Oh,
So,
jeez.
what else do you want to know?
Biggest cryptid.
That would be the giant of Kokonur. The giant lives in the most arid parts of the vast Kokonur Desert in South Samara, casting a strange light across the barren wastes.
Just how big is it?
No one knows for sure. It is like an awful mountain appearing from below the horizon,
Mountain?
expanding to cover almost a third of your field of vision.
Is it dangerous?
The towering luminosity of Kokonur is a bad omen in local folklore.
Mothman.
Some say it's a fata morgana.
You've been sarcastic with us.
Fate unimaginable.
Hui. No animal can be that large. It's a mirage.
That's what makes it so peculiar. A species surviving at the very limits of scientific law.
Oh,
The
okay.
giant of Kokonur must be the largest animal the planet can support. There are limits, you see, to how large a metabolism an ecosystem can beget. Some say a gravity anomaly below the Kokonur Desert might allow the creature to grow to these gargantuan sizes.
Oh, by the way, Mothman, tonight, gonna be meeting some communist.
Great. This is great shit. You need more. Gravity anomaly. Digging it. Digging this parascientific stuff right here.
What's the tiniest cryptid?
Cryobacter catlensis. Yes, a unicellular bacterium that was discovered in one of the northernmost points of Kotla on the Boreal Plateau by renowned geologist Caitlin Mijanou some 70 years ago.
What's so special about it?
The bacterial colony Mijanou found had remained alive while frozen in ice for longer than anyone could reliably
It's pretty
estimate.
cool.
Certainly from before recorded history. Mijanou disappeared shortly after injecting herself with the bacteria she had brought back to study. No doubt in hopes of prolonging her own life.
What? Wait, she injected herself with it?
Yes, the bacteria had survived in the ice since times immemorial. It is not hard to see where she
It kind of is, though.
It's actually a little hard to see. But do go on.
You mean there's an immortal geologist wandering the world?
Yes, and she's quite mad too. After she treated herself with the bacteria, she stopped aging, but also became increasingly eccentric and irascible, so that even her oldest friends were forced to pull away. We can assume that she has been living somewhere in the wilderness for decades now, all alone except for the Cryobacter catlensis coursing through her bloodstream.
This has been educational.
Of course, dear.
Yeah, that was cool. But, block that for now. Wait, how much time left do we have on this? 44 minutes? Alright. You know what? Here. Let's look at some of the more case files.
It's the ledger you found in the trash. A cabbage of papers.
Read a case file.
It takes about half an hour to piece one together, using the system.
The square bullet hole murders.
It would be very interesting to read about these, wouldn't it? I mean, there seems to be a square-shaped entry wound in the victim's forehead. She's been sitting there for weeks, on her rocking chair, with a square hole in her skull, staring at the wall, her mouth agape.
What?
That's all you got.
What?
From the half hour you spent piecing it together, all you know is the entry wound was square-shaped. You never found the bullet. And then another body showed up, also with a square hole in his forehead.
If we had to guess, we'd guess a railroad spike.
Who knows? Those pages are missing. What next? Don't worry. One day you may still catch the man with the square gun.
Hold on a sec. We need to go use the restroom. We're gonna run an ad so that way ads don't play while we're playing. So don't be spooked. We'll be back in just a minute. Okay, we're back. Couch in an unexpected location?
Some assholes brought their couch outside and hung out on it. In the middle of the street, on the roof.
Ooh, wait.
On the hillside by the motorway. You know, at an unexpected location. They were young, and they thought they looked cool on it.
Kind of look like assholes.
Insufferable dicks. Young people are the worst. So anyway, you got a complaint about the damn sofa, or couch, or whatever it is.
What's the difference? Sofa is more formal, not as inviting for a nap. Okay, sure, whatever. Ah, fair. Like a hoagie in a submarine.
They were leaving it out in all these unexpected and whimsical locations. They took it to where they also took photos of themselves on it, and smoked cigarettes, and drank coffee because they felt it's intellectual. Cigarette butts, coffee cups, stupid couch. You had to clean it all up, and you did. So congratulations to you. Case solved.
Ever catch those guys?
No, you didn't have time for that. These notes show that you have what is called a real goddamn job. You don't have time to be chasing down the couch assholes. Not much is
check this
changed.
later.
Jamais vu. Derealization. Jamais vu. The opposite of déjà vu. Not already seen, but never seen. Everything that
Thanks,
should
Maple.
be familiar appears strange and new, like some half-forgotten day in your childhood. Only now. That's the feeling you've been having. And for who knows how long. You should go and ask Joyce Messier about this. What world are we in? This is a fundamental question.
What bonuses does it give? All... Ooh, cool. Homosexual underground. Internalize. Go talk with Joyce. Oh. Mothman, did you see, we mentioned it in a Discord server, might be moving to Oregon next week. Yeah, to go work night security at a weed farm and go live in a mobile home. YOLO!
You're back. Good. What can I help you with?
Reality questions.
More lessons in basic reality?
Oh.
My favorite part of the day.
What
Go ahead, ask me
is
anything.
blah blah?
What is all of this? The scent, the sound, the air.
What world is this?
What world? The only one, I suppose. The world of matter. And its pale antipode.
The camera of her mind glides over the surface of the water.
Great bodies of water. Forest-covered surfaces. Clusters of light where the cities lie. You've seen the montage. We all have. This world is enough. There is a term of endearment they coined for it, in the DeLorean century, when humanity was high on this world, discovering more and more of it, these archipelagos included.
What is it?
Elysium.
The world needs a term of endearment.
It does. There are those who would call it hell.
So we've been making this joke for years now that actually we all died in 2012 and this is hell. And you know, some days we think that might be more real than we'd hope. Maybe that's just living in a or late stage capitalist society.
A term of hatred that originates, like many such things, with the Mesk petro-fascists.
Fucking fascists. Hi Sabrina. We're doing good. We're being gay. No, like really. We're internalizing being a homosexual. Whole picture yet.
Oh, you want a picture of the world? There is no complete set yet, dear. They're having some trouble reaching orbit.
How come?
Great things are difficult to achieve. For now, we're viewing the world from the inside, sideways.
Sideways? What shape is the world then?
We used to think it was a sphere, but that is beginning to look less and less likely by the day. You wouldn't know it from the tabloids, but the ORG nations have been launching weather balloons into the lower ionosphere since the 30s.
Wait, is Elysium a flat world?
ORG, Occident Revischol-Grad.
Oh. Rough.
There's a steadily increasing trickle of images. Between the big three scientific contributors, they're piecing together a dark grey corona.
We'll be honest, we really don't like the word cringe. Dark grey corona?
Yes. Pale covers 72% of the surface. There are grey flares and prominences, even arcs above entire isolas. The images are blurry, but if there was a sphere in there, it certainly looks like it fractured a long time ago.
We don't know.
A cold fear seeps into you.
My god, wait, what the hell are you telling me?
You seem to be spooked. Please don't be.
Nice one, Mothman. Hell, and what do you mean? Corona? Oh no! Disco Elysium predicted a coronavirus.
They say there is a rarefied envelope of matter surrounding the darkened disk of our planet. That is, if we are still living on a planet. Or, to speak more plainly, imagine vast swathes of land disrupted by nothingness. I am sorry, dear. It must sound quite terrifying through the acute encephalopathy. Even scientific positivism isn't entirely convinced about what we're dealing with here.
Encephalopathy. Means any disorder or disease of a brain, especially chronic degenerative conditions. Modern usage does not refer to a single disease, but rather to a syndrome of overall brain dysfunction. Aha, mood.
But this is one of the greatest questions of our time. Maybe when they get the complete set together, it will jolt us out of our rut, bring us together, however naive it may sound.
Fractured Corona doesn't feel like it's going to bring anyone together.
You have misimagined it. I don't have the power to convey to you the effect and geometry of the images that depict our world from below low orbit. It's like the crowning of the world. It's insane. Very disco. You'd love it.
Oh, if you say it's disco...
See, everyone finds something worth holding on to in this world, however wasted its opportunities.
Suddenly, you're conscious of yourself standing there, on whatever this all is. Your arms hang down by your sides. The lieutenant observes you both, silently. He adjusts his glasses.
It said pale. What is pale?
The pale is not, technically speaking, part of reality.
Yes. Also, I think we've had enough excitement for today. We do have a case to attend to.
Him!
Of course, Lieutenant. Let's try something else.
What do you mean it's not part of reality?
Ma'am, remember you are dealing with a very sensitive and impressionable police officer who is still recovering from a recent medical episode.
The Lieutenant's right. Let's change topics. What do you want to know? Anything.
You could sneak back later when the lieutenant is not here, unless you can convince him to step aside.
Him, go away.
Good idea. Just ask him. He won't make a scene.
Him, can I talk to the man alone for a second?
Fine.
See? What can he do? You're a grown man.
Now what is a pale?
Are you sure you're sure? Your colleague seemed
Yes.
adamant. Okay. The pale is the most dominant geological feature of the world, Detective. The separative tissue between the islas. It is the inter-islary mass.
Wait, and what is, whatever?
Isla is a Messinian word for a continent of matter, enveloped on all sides by the pale. Also, isolation, or landmass. We used to believe there was only one. In the last 4 centuries, we have discovered 7.
Oh.
Mundi, Seol, Samara, Ilmara, Grad, Katla, and this, Insulinde.
Swende is...
An oceanic isla. It comprises mostly of water. Muindi is the largest, Katla the coldest, Insulinde the bluest. What can I say? Each is perishing and dear.
Okay, what is a pale like?
Achromatic, odorless, featureless. The pale is the enemy of matter and life. It is not like any other, or anything in the world. It is the transition state of being into nothingness.
The negation of being.
Negation of...
That's right. The negation of being.
What, is it like dark matter? Is it here?
No, Detective. We're safe. It begins there, 6,000 kilometers to the north, and even more to the south, east, and west. You are in the middle of the Isla.
As your gaze instinctively turns north, a small black pit opens up in your stomach.
6,000 kilometers from the end of a world?
Yes. That is enough. Many cities are built much closer.
And there?
An uproar of matter, darling. Rising into the pale. Rolling. Evaporating even. The great vision. The area of transition between the world and the pale is called torch collapse. Imagine a grey coronal mist, cold vapor, marked by spores of an opportunistic microorganism. A mold that's adapted to grow at the edge of the unrest. It's the most disco thing you will ever see.
You hear your pulse rise. The air feels caustic and cold suddenly.
Full qualities?
Difficult to describe, or even measure. Something whose fundamental property is the suspension of properties. Physical, epistemological, linguistic. The further into Pale you travel, the steeper the degree of suspension, right down to the mathematical. Numbers stop working. No one has yet passed the number barrier. It may be impossible.
What?
There's a slippery article in there.
The Pale or Pale?
Pale when it's particular, this territory of Pale. The Pale when it's Pale in its entirety. Once you've seen it, language balks at the difference.
Surrounded by Pale, how do we get... Yeah.
Oh, it is so difficult for us.
A squall of birds. Hardware operating in the harbor. Firm. Self-evident.
It is possible to force dimensions on the Pale. In modern times, we can even compress its latitude, bouncing radio waves from one end to the other, shortening the path. But it is still hard for humans to navigate the Pale without getting lost, or having our minds damaged.
Pale can damage the mind?
Extensively.
Ow.
Some say the damage stems from extreme sensory deprivation. Others argue that Pale somehow consists of past information that's degrading, that it's rarefied past, not rarefied matter. They call it the blend over of the self. The Pale does not only suspend the laws
Hi,
of
Sabrina.
physics, but also
Thanks
the
for
laws of
checking in.
psychology, maybe history even. The human mind becomes over-radiated by past.
Who says and who argues?
Says and who argues?
The logical positivists say, the dialectical materialists argue.
Well, what does this over-radiation feel like?
It feels terrible. Absolutely terrible. International standards strictly limit civilian travelers to 6 days of Pale exposure per year.
It's more for her. Way more.
You're not a civilian passenger?
No, Lieutenant Dubois. I'm entreprenetic business class. I'm cleared and trained for 22 days of Pale transit annually.
Someone else you've met may have been exposed as well. The strange grey-haired woman in her lorry.
Lorry drivers pass the Pale?
Yes, carried in the hulls of airships. It's a horrific job. Automation will abolish it soon.
You should ask the Pale driver about this. See what she says. That poor woman must have stories to tell, like you wouldn't imagine.
Who over-radiated?
Up to my gills, officer.
An acidic smile on her lips. It's getting worse every year.
Oh, so she's losing her fucking mind. Alright. What is entreprenetic?
Entreprenetics is the
Said it right.
scientific study of the Pale, or a recent iteration of it by way of grad. The study of the Pale reaches back 6,000 years. The Pericarnassians called it the Western Plain.
They had not traveled the entire circumference of the Pericarnassian Super E-Solar. It was not merely in the west, it was everywhere, even then, surrounding them.
A cross of the Western Plain?
There are signs of pre-modern crossings. Successful navigation of the Pale relies not just on technical know-how, but intensive psychological preparation. Some of these tactics have been known for thousands of years.
What has entreprenetics changed then?
Nothing. We remain powerless before the Pale. The only real advance in Pale transit is the speed with which an aerostatic craft can pierce it. Less exposure leads to less effects later.
Aerostatic craft? Plane?
Hybrid airships, Detective. Conventional rotors or jet engines no longer add velocity after the point of reference for motion is suspended, once you've crossed from near pale to far pale. In essence, we throw them in and they come out the other end. If we throw them precisely.
We do not?
Then they don't.
Ooh.
Gone, like a skipping stone beneath the surface.
How much pale is there?
The pale outweighs reality 2 to 1. There is more pale than there is matter, and the ratio is slipping.
Flipping how?
What do you think, Detective?
Shrinking. There's more and more of our world? Wait, it's growing. Yeah.
Precisely. One of the few measurable effects of the pale is that it is expanding at an unknown rate. An intuitive conclusion of that development is that one day the pale will cover everything. But this sort of talk is mostly left to extremists.
Stay silent.
Most people, and indeed most private and government sector organizations, entire civilizations and religions even, find handy ways to ignore or downplay that knowledge. I suggest you do the same.
Off we go. You see the hanged man's mouth open.
Off we go into the wild pale yonder.
One and all. They say pale is death, but for the universe.
Why should we just leave, and the world get left behind?
Wild.
Yes, sweet reality. But before we do, tell me, Detective, is this the first time you're hearing this? Do you really not remember anything?
Sometimes get vague shadows of a past. It's not good.
Then tell me, what do you think of the pale?
Terrifying.
Mm-hmm.
Your ailing constitution, sweaty forehead, the beads there, and your heavy breathing.
Hello, Lexilus?
You really didn't know. This does not spell good for the investigation, Detective. If you don't know even this, then...
I'll handle it. It's under control.
I hope so. I truly do. If I may suggest, hold on to your colleague, Kitsuragi. I ran a check on him and he is very competent. In the meanwhile...
Some of that assurance is meant for herself, as much as it's meant for you. She must have a lot on the line here.
You have me. I will assist you in any way I can, even if we have to do it one basic term at a time.
Oh, thank you.
Good. You have not passed out from it. Perhaps I worried for nothing. Are we still on the reality lowdown, or should we do actual police work now?
You needn't have worried.
But I did. Anyway.
Damn it, you're a grown man, the lieutenant thinks. Shouldn't have gotten protective hair.
Right, let's get to work, Lieutenant.
Good luck, detectives.
Fascinating. Okay. Now, so does that mean the thing in a church is like a little speck of pale? Terrifying.
Yes, what is it?
You don't have to. You already have. A long time ago.
Sonia, it's the origin point of the pale. Wait, for origin?
What?
The swallow. Voice. Okay. The swallow, it's how it starts. It's baby pale.
But But Pale isn't here. We're thousands of kilometers from the edge.
No idea. Okay, we can speak now.
That comforts her.
No, look up first. We're 20 meters from the very edge.
She looks up into the darkness under the nave, then back at you. You have her full, undivided attention. The lieutenant's, too. He takes his glasses off.
Pale is only in effect a transition between the world and that.
Then, what is that?
It's nothing. No, it's less than nothing.
Well, it's less than nothing. The final rest state for reality. Imagine if all this never was. So it's like entropy on steroids?
Then the Pale is...
Simply a gradient.
But the gradient, it clearly hasn't started yet. We're here, and the Pale is not.
One day, when it's larger, it will be.
I understand. A theory of the Pale where instead of an outer ocean, it metastasizes. Like a cancer or a mold. Erupting in points inside the world.
This is one of those places.
According to this, how long...
Till it starts swallowing? It's already started. Starting with sound.
And information. Causing data losses in the East Insulindian front. Have you considered why it's formed in a church? And also when or how it might start growing, or if it has other effects in addition to sound and data?
An intellectual hunger fills her now, casting fear aside.
I also have a question, since we are piling them on. How do you know this? I'm not doubting you. I'm simply curious as to how a detective of the RCM...
It didn't form in a church formed around it.
Of course! A pine wood sarcophagus, or a containment facility of some kind, built by the first settlers.
Yes, acting on an instinctual level or religious practices we've forgotten. Interesting thing, like, a lot of old religious practices were, like, very... Like, it wasn't just, like, superstition and stuff, like, Jewish thing of only eating... what's the word? Kosher food? It stemmed from, like, I think pigs and stuff, or whatever animal, like, spreading disease often and stuff, and can't remember exactly, remember talking with someone about it, but, the whole kosher thing led to Jewish people being, like, way less affected by something. And yeah, interesting. We're not super knowledgeable. Yes, acting on a... Yeah.
I have considered the same. The bad news is, there were 7 pinewood churches built in the first decade of provincial settlement. Most of them were burnt down during the revolution, or repurposed before, during the suzerain. I'm not saying all of them have one in them, but...
Some of them might. A black grain hanging in the air.
I've had this thought before, that's how I know.
An amateur anthropomedic police officer. I'd like to say I've heard stranger things, but I'm not sure. This is a hell of a guess, however. Well worded, I might add.
Yes, it is very interesting. But I wouldn't say you know. This is a guess. One that's going to have to be proved by anthroponetic scientists.
All the failed business in a doomed commercial area is all the failure in
I
mayonnaise?
think the presence of that puncture has somehow influenced the outcome of events here? Even say software development.
It warps the mind.
She already made up her mind when she heard it. Some kind of great and uncaring force had to play a part. It wasn't only them.
Yes, even the revolution was defeated here. I mean, it's some kind of entrepreneuric history.
I told the producers we need to go and move to a normal office building with amenities. But no, the artists like the milieu, the writers like the history. I told them.
No, they don't know.
Told them. But no, normal office buildings are bourgeois.
One day all the world will be like that 2mm hole.
She falls silent. The wind blows in through the hole in the stained glass window, cold and moist.
I'm going to leave that out. But the rest, some of this I can use to start to explain this to the rest of the team. Maybe I'll sound mad, but...
Man, you will certainly sound mad.
One more thing. Maybe a club for anodic music isn't the worst thing you can erect around this particular point in space.
Yeah, that's still insane, but then again, so am I.
Yeah!
Yeah!
The universe! It will never go out!
Thank you, Egghead. Let's leave it at that, shall we? We have an anthropogenic detection to perform in this district.
Fascinating.
Delarian Church! The place to be! Make some noise, my church people!
Vibrations thump through your blue soul. The music sounds much better in the church. He stands on stage behind a table, nodding along to the music and waving his hand in the air. In front of him, the audio mixer, one reel spinning. The other reel deck is empty. Cables run hither and thither. On one side, you see an auxiliary line in with the number 4.5 written next to it.
Whoa, that was a crazy sound before.
Yeah! It was awesome! And scary! Very hardcore! Too hardcore, in fact! I couldn't control it! At all!
What happened?
It sucks up all the air in the mix until it's the only thing left! Starts compressing itself and everything around it! Completely fills up the headspace! Extreme!
Inside your chest, the heart beats still with the after effects of the sound. Imagine if you could harness that power, making it pulse.
Anything we can do about it?
Oh! I don't know! Maybe someone can do something with this. I imagine this is the sounds that the future could make.
Sounds like a future could be even more hardcore than I imagined.
Yeah!
Alright. Okay. This...
Oh, hey man, it's good to see you.
Been meaning to ask, what's with the hair?
It's to express my individuality.
Hair?
Is that a bald spot? It's hard to tell for sure with the fused together spikes, but it looks like he's balding.
Is it because you're balding?
Or because I'm balding, yes. I want to fuse the remains of my hair together before it leaves me. I want to show my hair. I don't give a fuck how old you think I am. I'm 20.
How old are you, Andre?
Not 20.
Important for you to be an individual?
Of course it is. Otherwise, I'd just be another poor guy with no education and no money. General issue, man. Now I'm all that, and I have radical spikes.
Fair enough.
Maybe it was a bad idea. Anyway, goodbye, officer.
Yeah, the pale seems pretty fascinating.
Yo, man, what's on your mind?
Welcome back.
Well, you know what? We're gonna see if we have enough money to get a custom die. We're not sure if it has any use or purpose, but you know, want it. Oh, looks like. Greetings.
Oh, it's you again. Are you looking for a die?
Oh, shivers. Ba ba ba. Ba ba ba. Alright, we're gonna move this here. There. Thing minus. Oh, let's change back to these boots.
Oh, it's you again. Are you looking for a die?
Why hasn't her business failed?
A gust of cold air sweeps through the chimney. The stones and minerals on the shelves rattle as though agitated. For a moment, it almost feels as though you're outside the building, exposed to the atmosphere.
It's just a theory, but hear me out. I think I know why your business hasn't failed.
Didn't we already talk about this?
Because you're not in the same building as others. This isn't technically the Doom commercial area.
What are you talking about? My address is exactly the same. Rue de Saint-Guilain 10.
No, the old coal plant that used to be here was subsumed into the new venture. Its ruins swallowed up. Yet it has a different address in the heart of the city.
No, this used to be a coal plant. You're in a chimney of another building.
This doesn't make any sense. Are you saying my business was spared because of a technicality? Where is this coming from?
I'm just using logic. It's windy in here. You probably haven't properly sealed the chimney crown.
You're right. I should take a trip to the roof once the snow is gone. Does it mean that I'm safe from failure?
No one's ever really safe.
She starts laughing, her fingers trying to rub away the exhaustion from her face.
What?
Do you know what this is?
Your lucky charm? Some kind of ward?
It's a mourning ring.
Oh.
I made this when my first company failed. It was a small jewelry shop right here in the East Delta Commerce Center, built with the little I inherited from my parents. I drove it into the ground within a year. I didn't have what you would call a viable business plan.
Why are you telling me this?
It wasn't just a jewelry shop either. I always thought that it was just the world that you were supposed to try again and again until you finally succeed. And now you're telling me what? That it was all because I didn't run my little shops and ventures from a dump inside an abandoned chimney?
Sorry, I don't know what to say. It's entropy.
Yeah. Or maybe it's the entire world that's cursed.
Probably.
It's such a precarious place. Nothing ever works out the way you
FPS.
want. That's why people like role-playing games. You can be whoever you want to be, you can try again. Still, there is something inherently violent even about dice rolls. It's like every time you cast a die, something disappears. Some alternative ending or an entirely different world. But anyway, thanks for sharing your theories, officer.
Order a die.
Of course. Tell me what you have in mind.
Looking for something to help me with my work.
I think I have just the right one for you.
Police colors.
I'm a police officer, right?
Not the most original, I know. But sometimes the obvious choice is obvious because it's best. Here, catch. They're a gift from me.
A beautiful woman tossing you a gift. Whatever you do, don't overthink it.
Get your dice. Totally overthinking.
You overthink it. Your hands indicate what to do, and the 2 dice drop to the floor and scatter in opposite directions, like pearls from a broken string. The blue...
Down the drain, like your career. I apologize, officer. That comment was unnecessary.
Up for red die.
Is made of bloodstone with a lapis lazuli inlay. The other one was the inverse. They were a set, you see, but now the set is broken. It's a shame. They might have brought you luck. You definitely need luck in Martinez. Now, was there anything else? I'm listening.
That's sad. That was like a 50-50 chance. Better than that. Old snake eyes. Wonder if we can get down here and grab it.
A thick layer of coal dust covers the furnace.
Inside.
It's dark and grimy here. The echo is so prominent.
What are you doing? Wait, really? Maybe it's coming from behind the safety curtain.
Sad. I lost load. You know what? Fuck it. We're doing it again.
Oh, it's you again. Are you looking for a die?
Aside from getting naked, you're not
Oh, there you go.
Oh, it's you again. Are you looking?
A gust of cold air sweeps.
Didn't we over what are you talking about?
No.
This doesn't. Are you saying my business? Does it mean that I'm safe from failure?
She starts laughing.
What?
Do you know what this is? It's a mortar. I drove it into the ground within a... It wasn't just a... And now you're telling me what? That it was all because... Yeah, that's why people... It's like... But anyway, thanks for sharing your theories, officer.
Okay. Now, let's save again, so we can try to catch the die.
You again. Of course. Tell me what you have in mind.
Oh.
How about an amber die?
Oh.
Right. Maybe
Normal
some
die.
then.
Wait, for work.
I think I have just the...
Police colors.
Not the most... Here, catch.
A beautiful woman tossing
Got
you
it.
a gift.
Nice.
The smooth moves. You snatch the dice out of the air with one hand, just like you're in a movie.
Wink.
Oh, what are the odds? The red one is made of bloodstone with a lapis lazuli inlay, and the blue one is the inverse. I believe these dice are your lucky charm, officer.
She winked back at you. Can you believe it? You truly are Mr. Smooth Move.
You definitely need luck in Martinez. Was there anything else?
Oh, not yet. So what? We have another half hours to kill.
Your flashlight some of the writing has faded with age. The handwriting is up. The full text read outside. Looks like someone tried to reconceptualize their business here.
Don't get it.
Look, the skis and rotorblades both bear the same Slipstream logo. It seems likely that they started out making one, failed to turn a profit, and then pivoted to producing the other.
Question is, which did they start with and which did they pivot to?
That's a good question.
Just speculation, we don't know anything for sure.
Not quite. You do know that there's something unusual about this company's business model.
Try this again.
The barbell waits patiently on the floor, like a dog.
So, now let's read more the rest of the case files. No. Yes.
It's the ledger you found in the trash.
Read a case file.
Half an hour.
Unsolvable case.
AKA Leslie and Burke. AKA the public indecency drunk and the property damage drunk is a cursed case. It has been passed from unsuspecting officer to unsuspecting officer for 10 years. On January 29, the unsolvable case made its way to you. Why you accepted it, it is unclear. Every officer, and indeed most civilians in Jamrock, know it's unsolvable. Leslie will always take his pants off when he's drunk. Burke will always trash everything. It's just what they do. It is their nature. You cannot change the nature of a man, and you can't lock them away because public indecency and small-scale property damage are not punishable by incarceration.
Hell yeah, break shit.
The only way for Leslie to stop flashing his genitals to bypassers and for Burke to stop dismantling signage and rear-view mirrors would be for them to stop drinking alcohol, which in their 40s or 50s, it's hard to tell because of their distorted features, is a medical improbability on par with you ceasing to produce the expression.
Couldn't we just keep them off the streets?
You would think that, but you're wrong. Where's the fun in exposing your genitals or breaking stuff in your own home? No, Leslie and Burke are on the corner of Main Street and Perdition because that's where the action is. Can you keep yourself off the streets?
Seed.
Threatening fines, dragging them to the station, locking them up in the hellholes they live in, locking them up in the station, hypnotherapy, even trying to get the local gang of Zemyaki to take them out. The Zemyaki gave them ethanol, so Burke and Leslie would expose and rampage even harder. You tried it all, and still the complaints wouldn't stop, as they hadn't stopped for 10 years. It's plain to see from the files that you, Satellite Officer JV, and Special Consultant TH had more important cases to attend to. You uncover cross-reference to several ongoing investigations, each brought to a standstill every time you drive down Main Street. Because there they are, on the corner of Perdition. And what is Leslie doing?
Washing.
Good. You're learning. If the files are to be trusted, that's all there is to it. That and Burke breaking things, and the fact that they're both drunk. But then again, so are you. The case becomes considerably less comic one day when Burke takes a swing at your ledger. He must have it confused with the property he likes to damage. But the joke's on him. You're drunk out of your mind on potent Pilsner. You slam the hardened plastic board in his face. Then you proceed to beat him unconscious with it. In the process, the ledger sustains damage. The compartment within, reserved for permeable documents, is jammed shut. You stop your assault on the now unconscious Burke to open it, but are unable to do so. The officer began to cry, reports Leslie, who, at this point, is tending to Burke. Kill them. They broke it. He came at us, and at us. I think he was trying to kill Burko. While trying to kill Burko, you slowly come around. The permeables compartment is open. You've smashed it open on poor Burko's kneecaps. The good news is, Burke can't walk anymore. Can't get out of his apartment, an invalid. With Burke to tend to, Leslie cuts back on the indecent exposure. Maybe he flashes his genitals to Burke, who knows, but both drunks are off the street. The complaints stop. The unsolvable case is solved. Which is also why the officer responsible narrowly escapes a disciplinary hearing. The end. Do you want to read another one?
Yeah, but bathroom again, because suck down a lot of liquids and take a lot of medication. Herb. Okay. Sorry, and we're back. Murder of a hookah.
Murder. Tum 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 at the hookah parlor was a case originally assigned to an officer called Joseph Mills, who is now dead, of circumstances completely unconnected to murder at the hookah parlor.
Wait, how?
Beaten to death by a throng of Villalobos gang members when him and his partner J.M., only initials mentioned, answered a call one night. It's a sad story, and it isn't really represented in your case files. Stop stalling and get to the murder at the hookah parlor.
On with the murder.
Joseph Mills was on this case that he just couldn't solve. Was doing it solo. Said it was a real nutcracker, a real brain twister. Was on it for, like, a month. The captain got impatient. Shit or get off the pot, Mills. Mills didn't get off the pot. Not yet. He kept at it for a couple of weeks more, racking his brains, running with every theory, as outlandish as they seemed. Still couldn't solve the murder at the hookah parlor. Tough case, he said. Toughest he's ever had.
Wait, was Joseph Mills a good cop?
No. He was awful. Awful sense of humor, too. The worst jokes you've ever heard. Really rapey. Still, he'd been on it for months now. Said it was the final case. Said it was uncrackable. That murderer vanished into thin air. That goddamn hookah parlor was all he talked about.
Go on.
Okay, so the case is handed to you because Mills isn't getting anywhere, and you look into it. Here's the setup. A young man is found dead in a hookah parlor. You know, those places where you go and smoke bubblegum-flavored vapor all day.
Cool.
Yeah, really lame. So anyway, young man in his 20s found with his skull busted open, right on the floor of the hookah parlor, in the middle of the day. No one else is in there. Only client that day. In perfect health, too. No one enters. No one exits. He's just sucking on his watermelon hookah all morning, all noon, like he usually does. He's a regular. No calls, nothing. Just sucking on the hookah until 15:45. Then bam, he's dead on the floor with his skull busted open, blood everywhere. What happened? How can it be? Mills has no idea. Invisible assassin, movie deal gone sour. Girl at the counter did it. Nothing fits. Eerie. Man just dropped dead. So you go to the parlor. You see cushions around the table. Tables low, heavy, really sharp edge.
Sucked hookah, stood up, passed out, and hit his head on the table and died.
See? You can't even read the thing without solving it. Yeah, it was that. Turns out hookah does do something. It turns off your brain's oxygen supply, and you don't notice it until you get up to go to the bathroom.
What was he doing there for 6 hours?
Smoking hookah. Didn't you hear? I don't know. Trying to come up with a movie script, maybe. Anyway, that was murder at the hookah parlor. Joseph Mills wasn't a good detective, and about 30 minutes has passed, piecing it together. Not much has changed in the meanwhile.
Slide a drawer open again.
Without resistance or sound, the two panels move against each other. It's slightly, ever so slightly, difficult to breathe once you've done so. Your hand shakes. You're flushed.
No.
The acidic stench of rotting food is rubbed off on the cellulose. It now forms the base of the experience. This base surrounded by a faint air of spoiled meat, the stuff of death itself, and then sprinkled liberally with the citrus zest of toilet cleaner. You know, like the bits they put into public piss bowls, probably called Fermi Discrete, or Axel, or something. At some point in its journey, the ledger has seen the inside of a public toilet.
I know. So, already told me I dunked in the toilet.
If you knew it was dunked in the toilet before getting chucked into the trash, why are you sniffing it?
The option to sniff was there,
So you wanted to get in on the trash toilet stink collab. Find out what happens when those two get funky together? Okay, pal.
This is getting weird and hostile. Sorry, nose. Let's just move on.
Your nose is somewhere between grateful.
Silly. Boy, there's gotta be something we can...
Again? I can't believe this shit.
From a same station.
I'm going to say no. Just to see what you'll say to that. What'd you say? Okay.
Jean, he said okay. Give it a rest.
Okay, I was clearly wrong. He is a firefighter, male nurse, animal control agent, something of that kind. Not a cop. Go on with you.
Yes? What is it?
Something's really bugging me. Are we or not from the same
God damn it, you leave her alone. Keep your weird bullshit to yourself and be professional for once, for fuck's sake.
Can I actually help you with something?
Yes, of course. Preposterous. I mean, you would remember.
Okay. Well, like, there's supposed to be somewhere on a boardwalk where they're supposed to be able to investigate potential shot from, or yeah, shot thing, whatever. But we haven't been able to find it. Oh. Ah. There. Okay.
There's nothing else. A row of ghostly shades facing a crumbling wall, with another 7 shades standing. A cold sea behind this building, the other one, once filled with engineers and designers of Feld Electric, now collapsed and dead. The once bright mural
To the
towers
wind.
above you, saying, suddenly there's a sigh carried on the molecules around you, moving, flowing from high pressure to low pressure, like that of a woman emptying her lungs. She wraps the collapsing stone box in front of you in her breath, flowing through it.
Where does it go?
In through the collapsed roof, flowing down a concrete staircase to the basement, sweeping away footprints in the dust on the stairs, and then the beach below the boardwalk, its winding tunnels, a whisper away.
What's happening?
She's down there.
Down there, below this building.
Okay. Why?
Looked everywhere else.
Right. How do we get in there? The doors were on the collapsed side of this building. They're gone, basically.
Finally, my time to shine.
Perhaps we can climb?
Perhaps you can climb them. We are not climbing anything. I'm 43 years old, and I plan to live to see 70.
There has to be a way to use brute force. Climbing sounds unsafe. Brute force is safe. Look around and find something to break if the ladder fails. A rusty ladder leads to...
Yeah, that doesn't look good at all.
That's the situation.
The distances between the remaining rungs are rather wide. You'd have to use the mounting brackets. However, they seem corroded and the peeling rust is razor sharp. In addition, the first rung is going to be tough to reach. It's what, 3 meters above the ground, and you're 180?
Sounds about right.
Not to mention that the roof is collapsing and the wind gets pretty brutal up there. Dismounting from the ladder is going to be hard. Perhaps if you were to not climb the ladder. What if you were to reconceptualize climbing the ladder?
What if I don't climb? What if I just teleport?
Teleportation is not a thing.
Come on, Kim.
This really has nothing to do with adventure. We are dealing with basic physics here.
Won't hurt to try.
Oh yes, it could hurt. A lot.
Teleport.
All you need to do is close your eyes and concentrate.
What?
Darkness enfolds you. You can feel the distance between the bench and the first rung of the ladder. All you need to is...
do it.
Zoot, zap, pow, crinkle. It's like magic. You feel yourself disappear, your atoms fading out of existence.
Okay, well, that's impressive, but...
Bam! You find yourself on the roof, having mastered the art of physical displacement.
I did it, Kim. I teleported.
I just saw you climb the ladder. You just climbed it like a regular person.
The wind at the top of the building starts howling loudly, blowing away the lieutenant's voice.
Never mind. Find a way to let me in when you get inside. Don't go adventuring without backup, especially if we...
Silly. Radio equip flashlight.
This isn't just glass. These are old computation components.
Computer components?
Yes, filament memories. From the time when wires were cast in glass, slides with an inlaid nervous system.
How'd they do that? Why?
The how was a closely guarded secret. Something that was locked in safes in human heads across the river where they were manufactured. As to why, your fingers don't know. The why is easy, because they hadn't come up with modern silicon-based systems yet. For vitreous cast filament memories, though, these seem incredibly advanced.
Alright, let's find a way to let Kim in first. Okay, let's not go that way. Huh.
Two rusty metal plates that slide apart form a crude door. It's been here under the boardwalk for a while.
Who's there?
What do you mean, who's there? It's me, Kim. Stop playing around.
Hi, Kim!
The doors seem to be on rails, but they've gotten jammed. You grab a side and put some strength into prying it open. With the help of your partner, the two metal panels slide open with a creak.
Huh. I hope no one dangerous heard that.
How did you even get there?
After you climbed up to the roof, you mean? There's a maintenance entrance under the boardwalk. It's next to a drain pipe, possibly a storm drain. It was easy to miss before.
He's quite proud of himself.
So we know a quick way in and out.
Yes, we have an exit, so let's get going. Time to investigate these passages.
Full economics. What? We're gonna equip that right now.
This hat is so soft, so warm. It wraps around your head, and your mind tingles with all manner of socio-economic theory.
This is a Shenka, right? Pats the hat.
Kraz Mazov would have worn this Yushenka. Mazov knew where to cook those thoughts. That's why it bears a Mazovian logo. Glory to the revolution, comrade. Whether you like it or not, wearing this hat has made you more communist.
Hell yeah.
A mustachioed and mutton-chopped man, amateurishly depicted, gazes at you with sad eyes. A plaque reads, K. Mazov. There is a spiderweb in the lower left corner of the portrait.
Look, Kim, it's Comrade Mazov.
Yes, I can see that. Looks like some communists were hiding out here. They left a long time ago.
The lieutenant does not seem to share your enthusiasm.
Be connected to a Mazov bus we found in the students' room?
Millions of depictions of Mazov have been produced. They're not all connected. Besides, that looked like some student. The youths always go for this kind of stuff.
What's with all secret weapon caches?
We have found a lot of those lately. I guess what most people think of as history tends to linger in rundown neighborhoods. Martinez being what it is, no one has gone through the trouble of cleaning out the old bunkers. You mean like Ruby? No, I think we've stumbled on a piece of history.
Brush the dust off.
Worth of dust is shaken off. The full head of hair, matched by an ample moustache and sideburns, look a bit silly. Someone crouches, heels digging into wet sand. Hands sweep across the sand, grains sticking to the frayed skin of the fingertips. An old man sits on a slab of concrete and taps his fingers against the glass of a scope. You shudder.
Footprints.
There it is again, like a swarm of hornets buzzing under your scalp. A strange tingling you can almost smell.
Lieutenant, do you feel something?
No. What do you mean?
I mean, a strange tingling.
I don't feel it, but we should still be careful. There were footprints back there, and I'm pretty sure they were fresh.
Saw them too, footprints with right sole worn smooth.
Looks like our suspect. If she's in here, we need to plan our next. Once we detain a credible suspect, who knows what the Union and the Wild Pines will do? We'll set in motion events we have no control over.
You will upset the balance of power in Martinez. The deadlock between the company and the Union will destabilize. Keep calm. Go over the whole situation in detail.
Still got a date with the pigs and my gun.
We absolutely cannot skip that appointment. Consider that 100% confirmed. I fear you'll need your gun for this.
His hand rests on his holster. It's not enough. You need a gun in your hand too. Your gun.
Think whatever happened will affect a cryptozoologist?
Morel? I don't see how cryptozoology and the murder investigation are connected. But the situation in the city will get tense for everyone.
If it gets that tense, the amateur zoologists might not be able to do their job.
How bad do you think things could get?
We are not responsible for what we can't predict, are we? I don't think the entire city will be razed to the ground.
Most of it?
If you can't predict it, there's nothing you could have done.
what Joyce knows about a murder, but I may have other things to discuss with her.
Yes, there won't be time for that once things go down. Matter of fact, I don't think there's time for it now, but...
If you must.
Waiting for
I
us.
see a cavern. Maybe more cellars? I think we've been careful enough. We still have the element of surprise.
I wouldn't be so sure. You haven't exactly been sneaking.
Or maybe not. Either way, once we go deeper, there will be no turning back.
Yeah, we're not ready yet. So there's more we can do with the cryptozoologist? Interesting.
You're back. Good. What can I help you with?
Talk about the lynching.
Of course. Anything to help. I am sorry it has been
Reality.
more lessons in basic reality. My favorite part of the day. Go ahead, ask me anything.
What are you?
What I am not is a basic term of reality.
Fair.
There may be a way to get her speaking about herself at some later juncture.
Of a world.
What world? The only...
The camera of her mind glides over the surface of the
What you see?
Great bodies of water, forest-covered surfaces, clusters of light where the cities lie. You've seen the montage. We all have. This world is enough. There is a term of endearment they coined elysium. It does. A term
I
of
heard all
hatred
this.
that originates, like many such things, with the Mesk Petro fashion. Oh, you want to... Great things are different. We used to think it...
ORG.
There's a steadily Yes.
A cold fear seeps into you.
They say there... I am sorry, but this is one of the greatest questions of our time.
Everything will be okay.
I don't know about things of that scale. My expertise lies in nations and trade routes. One or several layers below everything, but yes.
She does not seem convinced that you'll be fine. If anything, she's realizing how deep your condition runs.
Certainly doesn't feel like I'm fine.
You have misimagined it. I don't have the power to convey to you the effect and geometry of the images that depict our world from below low orbit. It's like the crowning of the world. It's insane. Very disco.
Well, if you say.
Everyone finds something worth holding on.
The cold sea. Suddenly, you're conscious of yourself standing there. The lieutenant observes you both, silently. He adjusts.
Of times.
As I said, the mineral rights were all distributed during the revolution. As
Got shot in the
those
head?
would be the communists. Generally speaking, 40 million people got shot in the head during the World Revolution. But the communists, they all got shot in the head.
Oof.
Oh, and the anarchists too. They shot them well. So well, one forgets they even existed.
She likes the totality of it.
The communists and anarchists shoot back?
Did they ever? Before they got shot themselves, they shot 2 million people.
Really a kerfuffle.
Yeah, it was a kerfuffle, all right.
Yes. The Insulindian deluge, they call it.
I had a deluge too, in my head.
Yes, an acute thiamine deficiency can be exacerbated by alcoholism. Exacerbated means made worse.
Someone else gets shot in the head?
Oh, lots of people. Even the king got shot in the head, or thrown beneath a horse, or drowned. Accounts differ. It was unceremonious. Just as well, he wasn't actually the king. Just the king's nephew. The real king abdicated and lived out a long and productive life as a venture capitalist in Grad.
Cowardly.
I prefer the term risk-averse. King Guillaume was nobody's fool. He could smell a PR disaster brewing, so he got out alive, and his nephew Fricelle got shot in his place. Him and tens of thousands of his wonderfully fascist kingsmen. It was a wild time.
What is this?
The turn of the century revolution? Don't answer it. It's a trick question. The revolution began in '02 on the Isla of Grad, though by the end, nearly the whole world had gotten involved.
Start it.
It wasn't a who, but a what. A pandemic of Zarat, a particularly virulent prion disease, which the authorities in Grad proved unable to contain. Then Marzolf came along and overthrew the government.
What did Zareth do?
It made people overthrow their governments.
No way.
Indeed. Zarat is a highly infectious microorganism that destroyed brain tissue. The actual causes of the revolution were material. The pandemic only provided the spark.
Where did it spread from there?
From Revachol and Grad? Not far. The world managed to cauterize itself. Marzolf's government was overthrown in '08, and the coalition crushed the Revachol commune 2 years later. It was the end.
Came next.
Why? You and I, officer. Our lives in the zone of control.
This is a zone of control.
A city-state divided into free market zones under the everlasting interregnum of the Coalition of Nations. And you, of course, the citizens' militia.
The clatter of typewriter keys fills the main hall of the reappropriated silk mill. Precinct 41. Chad Tilbrook presses enter. Outside, Officer Elfboy Williams slams the door of an armored motor carriage.
The zone of control is the third incarnation of Revachol, after the failure of the suzerain and the commune.
What happened in the rest of the world?
Modernity. They developed the marvels of the inter-eastlery communication. Telematic milieus, radiation, colored plastics. Meanwhile, in Revachol West, the aftermath continues for the 5th decade.
51 minus 8 equals 43.
Been like this for 43 years?
Time flies.
What have we been doing all this time?
The 20s saw a decade of urban war, west of the river leveled, offshore platforms in flames. Still, it's regarded as an improvement on what came before. '08 to 19 was simply hell.
After that?
The 30s? Things settled down in the 30s. Revachol East transformed itself into the world's largest tax haven, with the international community's blessing. For the first time in a long time, it seemed like things were going somewhere.
All that untaxed income must have fueled the new. That can only mean one thing.
That's when they discovered disco?
Yes, and quantitative easing. It was a market mirage, unfortunately. The 40s dispelled it. An Isla-wide hangover, you might say. So, here we are. Welcome to reality, baby.
For her to be where she is, Wild Pines Group must have picked the right side.
Side was Wild Pines Group on.
They picked the winning side. That's why they're here, and others are not.
How lucky.
Perhaps it wouldn't have turned out that way had I been in charge. I might have bet on the king and led the Pines to doom.
Would have sided with the king?
I would have sided with the cannons. If you'd seen the calibers of the things, you might have too. Perhaps it's better I was born when I was. 10 of the 14 Indo tribes got it wrong. Feld, Kupri, Tricentennial. So I suppose I would have been in good company.
What would you have done differently?
Good question. What would you have done differently?
Yeah.
A cold creeps up your spine, reaching its tendrils up your neck, toward the back of your head.
So a quarter of humanity simply lost their minds. And how would you stop a prion? A complex folding protein, unlife, with the technology 50 years ago.
Okay, maybe it's impossible.
The wind stops, and for a moment, there's silence. A dog barks. A gunshot echoes off the walls of some distant building. A woman's voice.
Always.
Always. That's the can't-do attitude that truly defines late modernity. You may prove a modern man yet.
Opinions expressed here do not reflect the official position of the RCM.
And what is your official position, Lieutenant?
My position, ma'am? My parents got ripped to shreds in the revolution. I would have gone the same way. I was saved by being 2 years old. That's my position. The abattoir.
Understandable.
That's enough.
They are. Anyway, enough said.
Now's your chance. Ask her who
Oh.
she is. She won't get out this time.
Seriously, I want to know what you are.
She won't maneuver her way out of this one.
Say nothing.
I am the vilest of the vile.
Cool.
A traitor. A devourer of nations and infants. I am an ultra.
She raises the corner of her mouth, smirking, revealing a canine. It's sharp.
Wait, what's an ultra? Ultra Whipple?
Ultra-liberal. It's a type of liberal. From the revolution. It's, not the moderate kind.
So vile?
Haven't you heard? I am a nether creature of the Forbidden Swamp. One of those who pushed the king under a shit wagon and betrayed the revolution. I can see you thought I'd gone extinct. No sane person identifies as an ultra-liberal anymore. Not in broad daylight. You're a centrist at heart. A real moralist. Tell me, now that I've uncoiled myself, do you find me frightening?
In her green eyes, you see a mixture of truth and self-satire. Decades of guilt and pride.
I don't care.
A fitting punishment. To be forgotten, if not forgiven. Save a prayer for us in our chateaus on Ozon and in Stella Maris. When the dust settled, the liberals were the only ones left to clean up the mess. By virtue of their survival, they were handed enormous power to shape the future. This was all our last generation managed.
Soccer. What would you have done differently?
With due respect to our overlords, the eternal caretaker government that keeps Martinez a monument to the efficacy of its artillery.
While a gentle wind sweeps the streets in the rebuilt east, light drizzle washing it clean, lights go up and motor carriages circulate the tracks.
I would not have relinquished sovereignty to the Coalition. Not here in Martinez, and not in the Stella Maris or Delta Beachheads either. If not for my own sake.
She realizes her small, cold fists are clenched. She loosens them.
Then for my daughters. We had an obligation to defend our sovereignty. We should have burned the whole Isola down rather than let them have it.
You're a patriot?
Yes, I suppose I am. But I wouldn't be a patriot anywhere but here.
Seditious talk, ma'am.
You have daughters?
Yes. Whatever else I am, I'm also a mother. And a wife. Now,
That's all.
to have been of assistance.
What's this? We're getting reports of normal, reasonable, temperate political opinions somewhere in Martinez.
Must be mistaken, I'm a real radical.
Of course, a radical centrist.
No.
In these bright and loud times where 1,000 frequencies drown one another out, sober thinking is a radical act. It's time to become a citizen of the kingdom of conscience.
No.
That's a pity. Real democracy was just around the corner for Revachol.
Alright, let's get our gun back. Also hang out and meet the communists. Yep. Walk past a field. Okay. Never mind. Let's go back. Oh.
Put your hands where I can see them.
Show me your hands. This is the pigs. Show me your hands. Right now! Show me your hands!
Scavenged, battery-powered police lights protrude from her back.
What?
The flickering light show reveals a gun in her shaking hand.
Madame, please drop the firearm immediately.
You shouldn't be here. Something's very wrong with her. She's completely out of control.
Hands.
Man appears to be pulling out an object from his pocket.
Fear under threat! Fear under threat! Superseding event. Split-second decision. Get on the ground! Get on the goddamn ground!
And we just want to talk to you.
Subject yourself to a full body cavity search. Prohibited materials concealed in nostrils, ears, mouth, navel, urethra, foreskin, vagina, and rectum.
In her mind, the cavity search is happening. As long as she's saying it. It appears the things she says are very real to her.
Be careful, detective. Don't do anything that might set her off.
You have to go for the gun sooner or later. Perhaps you can learn crucial facts before you do.
Solve this peacefully.
Officer in need of assistance! Suspect alert! Get on the ground!
Ma'am, please. We want to help you, but you need to lower that weapon.
Let's talk, alright?
Disturbance reported. Authorized deadly force. Sector, take the shot! Big red key!
Big red key? That's code for the battering ram. Cop talk. You know this.
Please identify yourself.
It's the goddamn police shitbag! Hug the pavement! You're under arrest!
As she waves her hands, you notice familiar-looking ampoules and packets sticking out of the mountain of police gear on her back. Medicine or drugs?
Run drugs?
Confiscated contraband! Restricted access! 2 kilos missing! Eyewitness report compromised!
I don't think she's on drugs. Being off drugs might actually be the problem here.
Not the police, we're the police.
Back up! Back up! Back up! Status unconfirmed!
Lieutenant Double Yeffer Harrier Dubois.
No, oh no. Gareth!
Aggravated assault! Man down! Officers in pursuit!
There's a scenario unfolding in her head right now. It has nothing to do with what's happening here.
What's the situation, officer?
Law enforcement compromised! Impersonating a police officer!
Does she not believe you two are actually police officers?
Get a badge.
License and registration! License and registration! Come in, dispatch! Sector! Sector! Azimuth!
It's not a code, just disjointed words. She's losing it. One twitch and there will be blood.
We can't leave. A delirious civilian is pointing a firearm at us. Your firearm. You need to solve this.
She's frantic, confused, teetering under all that gear. There's an opening if you just move far. Host almighty, don't count on that. You saw the Binocloud can't shoot for shit.
Gun, I'm coming.
Suicide by cop! Split-second decision! Eat lead, scumbag!
In your peripheral vision, the lieutenant releases the half-squeezed trigger.
God, I almost blew her head off.
What is this? This isn't police issue. Police weapons have bullets. This isn't real. Police guns always have bullets. What is this? Why did you sell me this?
Grab the gun, right now. This might be your
Pick it up.
No one ever cares anymore. Why would they treat me like this?
This limbed and headed machine of pain and undignified suffering is grinding to a halt. Tired of walking the desert, it doesn't want to feel or think anymore.
Poor woman. We need to figure out what to do with her now.
Nobody's ever around. Nobody ever comes to visit me.
Very sorry this is how your life turned out for you.
Her scratched skin is warm to the touch, but the person inside doesn't even know you're there.
Think is happening to her?
She's in a stupor. I've seen this before. God knows for how long. Could be days when they get like this.
But why was she like this in the first place?
Honestly, I don't know. Dementia, probably. Dementia and Channel 8, and loneliness.
Probably right.
Yeah, looks like a bad case. But the question is what to do with her right now.
Esther?
I don't think there's any need for that. In her current state, and without the gun, she isn't really a threat to anyone. We could let Titus know. This is a perfect problem for the local peacekeepers to handle. They might even know her family.
Yeah.
Then we can ask him once we get back to the whirling. But we have to hurry, because it's late, and they might have already gone home. But I think we're done here for now. Let's head out.
Please, leave the radio on.
Reflex to what? Being left alone? She stands motionless. Just a heap of clothes and fleshes now. Maybe if you search... The woman stands slumped. She is one of those things, a police cap. There were narcotics in there too. You're thinking of taking them. She doesn't even flinch, as...
Oh, is that yours?
It's hard to say. It's been so long since you wore yours.
Maybe, probably, you know me.
It's your hat.
Wild. Ah. The boys.
The Copper NATO is back. What do you want?
There's an old catatonic lady in an old fish market on the other side of bay. She needs help.
What's that, copper? You want us to help little old ladies now?
You're local law enforcement, aren't you? Helping troubled civilians should fall under your jurisdiction.
Yeah. We'll send someone out. Who is? Wait. It's the pigs, isn't it?
Yeah.
God. Poor lady. Don't worry. We'll handle this. I think she got some family in Kurong or something. Bastards left her alone when she got...
Hey, wasn't Everard's B team looking for her the other day? They said something about her, I don't know, finding something?
Yeah, I think you're right, Gene. She have something of yours, pig.
He had my gun.
You're fucking with me. Your gun. She had your fucking gun?
Sure did, boss. Heard him loud and clear. The pig's lost his gun.
Well, at least I can see you got it back. If you have any questions...
What's her name?
Auntie LaPlante. We always called her. Something LaPlante.
Marianne, amigo.
Mariana LaPlante.
Anything else you wanted to know?
How'd she get like this?
Wanted to be a cop, you mean? Well, shit. I don't actually know. Anyone know why she started acting like a pig?
No fucking clue. It's gotta be the crazy. Who'd want to be a pig?
Who wants to suffer well? Jeez. Yeah.
Yeah, you should be.
Whatever, Cobb. Don't.
Whatever.
Sure enough, we're the real heroes on this.
Hello. Lena and I were just discussing the...
They're facing... Oh. Try it. Facing stuff. Have something.
Hello. Lena and I were just discussing the design of the new
You look down at your hands.
Really?
Yes, sweetie.
Oh, come on.
Hello. Lena and I were just...
Consider the way the empty trap was disturbed, as though shaken. Most likely the hands of a young person, hands small enough to fit inside the...
Damn it, Kuno.
You should ask the red-headed boy, Kuno.
I think that little hooligan called Kuno may have stolen the locust.
A little hooligan? But what would a child want with bags?
Oh, my dear Morel. You've been an old man for too long. Kids love to torment insects almost as much as they love to torment...
Delinquents. My favorite.
Oh, you've been such a dear to us. Please, let us know whatever you turn up.
Well, I see you've got all the help you need. I'll see you tonight at my place. Let's play suzerainty, but no more field trips for me.
He hasn't been particularly forthcoming before. He may well still be hiding something. After he's left, it's too late.
Really, Gary? We're getting somewhere here. I'd love to play suzerainty, but...
Lena, I'm sorry, but you're not getting anywhere. It was some kids. I know the little mutants around here. Leave anything out in the open and they'll steal it, even if it's bugs. Morel, it's been fun, really, but I need a bath and I have deliveries to handle. When this tea is done, I gotta run.
No need to apologize, Geary.
Alright. What's up, Gary, you
Always a pleasure to see
asshole.
Officers.
Christ.
Any Sealites here, or anywhere, other than Sale. I meant no offense.
You have a
Truly.
problem?
No problem at all.
Sounds like some conspiracy topic. You might be able to discuss it with him. Your gut feeling tells you it'd be interesting.
Oh.
So you do?
No.
He didn't kill him.
Whatever.
Yes?
Okay. We are gonna call it here. It's been about 3 hours. Seems like a good place to stop. Guess tomorrow we can go check out the communists. Then probably gonna go to sleep, and then the next day go investigate the Ruby stuff. Well, guess next day we'll talk with Kuno and all that. Maybe we'll talk with this guy. Well, actually, let's see real quick. Aha, pranked. Okay. Now we're gonna go. Bye. Thanks for watching. Love y'all. Mwah.